Getting with the times. So obviously we're talking about follow-up because you can never talk about follow-up enough. Oh, and I think I've got a presentation that should work pretty. Let's see. There. We'll do this one. Do that. Oh, yeah. Can you guys see it? Awesome. I'll just give you a pretty aesthetic going on here. So, May, we're doing all about the follow up. Last week, we were just basics, right? 101, why we do it, different tips and tricks around it. But honestly, this is just going to be something we kind of just drill in our head because I know, I mean, even when I talk, this is talking to the day one person to your most seasoned leaders, everyone can get better at follow up. I slipped up with it. Brooke even said she does. Like, I'm telling you. And so it's something that it's just like, if we could have it like tattooed on us, a reminder. Someone came in the chat today. How can I meet my goals this month? I was like, well, my first thing always is to follow up with anyone that's expressed interest and knowing that it takes, 8 to 12 times. When was the last time I followed up with them? And that's just if you have goals to always keep that in your mind because just going back to those are like your hottest, they've already expressed interest, you've already talked to them. So, anyways, we're going to kind of follow a flow here. This is why follow up matters. Why does it even matter? Um, Obviously, it's just 80% of the sales. We talk about this between 5 and 12 touch points. Most people stop after 1 and 2. You guys know it's not because they don't care. It's just they don't know what to do, or it's not nagging. It's about being consistent and present, and it's about staying on top of their mind. That's all you're doing. And you're serving, you're not selling. And we've given examples on how we've appreciated follow ups, right? Like, hey, you need your oil change. Do you know the sale ends at midnight? We as humans appreciate follow ups 100%. So, let's drop in the chat, drop a one if you've ever had someone buy from you weeks or months after your first conversation only because you followed up. Drop a one. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I actually talked to someone today, which I was like, follow up game strong. And I'm telling you, there's so many people that I know I can get better on it myself. So this is what we're going to go through today. 5X follow up formula, 5 ways to follow up styles that you can start using right away. So we're going to break it down: value based, curiosity based, testimonial based, promo and reminder, and personal connection. So kind of just think of this as like your follow-up playbook, and it will you'll never be left saying like, "Oh my gosh, what do I say?" You can just, which one of these can I follow up with? And Brooke, you can jump in whenever. So I just kind of need to stay on track, so this kind of helps me a little bit. So, this is going to be, I want to make sure so give before you get. This is more of the value-based follow-up. This is sharing a tip, tutorial, being helpful. So this type of follow-up helps you share as a resource instead of a salesperson. You're literally just giving helpful info, tips with zero pressure to buy. One thing that actually came in my mind with this is like Brooke, if she had anyone that was interested in the coffee, she could share the new way she's making coffee. Just literally send them a message. Oh my gosh, I know you were interested. I actually found this new way I'm loving. That's it. Not asking them to buy, but just sharing tips. Hey, I've been mixing collagen with my iced coffee and almond milk. It's so good. I thought of you. I thought this is something you'd like too. So I don't know. I just feel like this is it's an easy sneak treat. It's just like you're kind of like you're giving them something, but you're also bringing up something that we have a good, in any way. So I also like just think of some of your favorite products and think of some conversations that maybe there's someone that you could follow up with a little bit after this that might be something. Other ones, I thought of the age reverses. Anyone that's ever tips around that, you can always just send them a tip. Hey, I found out it's actually better if you use, I think, if you make sure your makeup super dry, if you only use oil, but any type of product someone has mentioned, you can think of some type of tip that you've learned around the product. Oh, Elixir. Oh my gosh, I found out that Elixir helps with mosquito bites. I know you love camping. You know what I mean? Like you just pick one of the 300 and go from there down your list. So that's just kind of a fun, easy way I think is super helpful. So these are the curiosity, sparking curiosity. This is perfect, I think, for ghosted conversations, people who fell off. You're going to try to re-engage them without making it awkward. This is literally like, I just feel like it never goes wrong. I said it, I think, on the live the other day. You popped in my head and I thought of you. Girl, you popped in my head when I saw this lip color. It's so you. Easy peasy. Actually, I was talking to Brooke today, and she said, "Any holiday, any birthday, Happy Mother's Day." She's like, "What'd you say? You can't go wrong because people probably at least have a pet."
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know if some of these women were moms, but I was like, I'm sure they at least have a cat or a dog, so they probably won't get offended.
And that's just like literally you're starting the conversation again. I use the suggestion that I told you. You guys all know every day I start, reaching out to happy birthdays for people that, aren't already in whatever I'm doing. And I ask them, what was their favorite memory of the past year? And it just starts a conversation. But letting people know that you thought of them but based off of a product, like a new thing. Actually, I've sent a message to someone, a few people right before this call because of the talc free powder. Because I had people mention, they're really into super, super clean. So I was like, oh my gosh, I thought of you. I know that is your thing. Oh, sent a few, with the fragrances that there's so many different things when we get restocks. I thought of you for the gel. I know you have knee pain. Those are just really brings it up and no pressure. You're just letting them know. So I think we all have had someone ghost on us and we weren't sure how to restart the conversation, just letting them know you popped in your mind. If you ever do a trip, so those that just went to Miami, those that are going to Mexico, conference is great to learn, but it's also great for content and conversation starters. People love to join people that they see that are committed and learning. They want to connect arms with someone like that. So anytime after any event, I spend like the day sending voice messages saying, "Hey, I was here. You were on my mind the whole time." I say that to everyone, that they were on my mind the whole time and why. I'd love to be at this place with you. And then, this is also, I was thinking too, this isn't I don't know, is this it? And then just, you might just forgot, these are people who are just thinking about it. So being time sensitive. I think I got a little mixed up here, but it's fine with my notes. This is just straightforward but necessary. People want a deal. Life gets busy. So we know, hey, the BOGO ends tonight. I'm telling you, you guys don't know how many sales you're missing on by not doing these one-on-one reach outs when we have a promo. Like there's so many people that I know have expressed interest, and it's really could be just me setting aside 15 to 20 minutes, sending the message to every single person. Hey, free shipping at 75. Do we know that registered customers, always get free shipping at 75? Yes. Do all of them know? They don't. I learned that myself. So it's just a new thing to them. Hey, you get free shipping at 75 and sending them the picture, sending them the BOGO. You've been eyeing this. It's on sale. I want to help you grab it. You're not bothering them. Again, I would appreciate it if someone let me know I could grab something that was on sale. If I could grab something and you're just letting them know. So
One of the ways that I heard it explained to me years ago was they called it like new information. Like I'm checking in basically with new information, like whether, like Brittany said, like you just came from a conference and you learned XYZ. Hey, I know you were concerned about such and such, but guess what? this is happening, or like she said with the sales. So like with the talc was a big one. I was shocked when that was in my inbox today. I was like, oh wow, like they really are listening to us.
Yes.
And I've had a few people who are really big on like the squeaky clean ingredients, and it's like, listen, it's never going to be perfect, right? But there's an ingredient that's being changed in one of the products that I had expressed concern about, and it's like already being changed. So the people that I knew like that had like an issue with that, like I went ahead and reached right out to them and said, hey, I just want to let you know, I know you were concerned about this, but they're actually already in the process of changing it. So any new information that you can check in with, like a sale or like a trip or anything, like Brittany said, I thought of you. I know how much you love to travel. We're going to Mexico or Turkey or wherever we're going. It's just letting people know that you are thinking about them. I personally don't promote every sale on social media. I think that sometimes our audience can get like sale fatigue. So I like to keep the sales in my back pocket to use for follow-ups. Like personally, that's what I see sales as for, is for follow-ups, right? So it gives you a reason to reach back out to people who haven't closed yet.
I 100% agree. Like you won't see me post about every sale. I probably might talk about them in my stories because again, warm market. And then we have so many, it is such a great, for that personal follow up. It's helping us, essentially. And I definitely, you said it, in such a great way, new information. And we're constantly getting new information. And that's funny you said that about the talc too, because I remember I messaged you right when I joined. I had a few people express concern, and you were like, reach out to home office and let them know. And I did. And seeing like that they make these changes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane, but in a good way. So it's exciting. So, yeah, if you have someone that's really into, obviously, we know EU certified is good, right? That's a great. But there are people that do have a higher standard of what's clean, and so the talc free powder is going to be big for them. So I think I may have skipped messed this. Did I miss it? Okay, I think I did. I miss one. Okay, I skipped this slide, but I want to touch base on it because I think it's really important. Is the testimonial follow up. So when people are on the fence about a product or joining, the results speak really loud. So you can use your own story or a teammate story when you're when you're talking to someone and following up. So you can literally, it can just be as simple as I had to tell you, one of my girls said this L-carnitine helped ditch her afternoon crash, thought of you, or oh my gosh, pictures from the chat, pictures from our testimonial group made me think of you. Something if you know that they've posted that they're struggling about, or if you know from their relationships, those are great ways to follow up too. Like if someone, shares anything, or if you start to experience results, another reason to follow up with someone. So even if they don't buy right away, it builds belief and it keeps you on top of their mind. And especially even for the business, like sharing like what other people are doing, like if they're just not sure, you can be like, oh my gosh, I earned this bonus. I did, just following up in some type of way. And that would be the testimonial follow up. And I didn't make a slide, so I wanted to make sure that you guys also know that is another way, a reason to follow up. So, relationships, personal connection follow up. This one is big too because this is where you can shine, and it's because you care. It's because you're a good person. It's continuing the relationship even if they haven't bought or joined, even if they may not ever want to. So like it says here, you're going to comment on something personal that they shared. This is literally, taking the time to kind of get to know the person, what they're going through. An example, I saw your post about your daughter's recital. So cute. But I also wanted to circle back on what we talked about before. So you just kind of start like with that. I saw your post about spending the weekend at your son's baseball game. Oh my gosh, that looked like it was so fun. I also wanted to circle back on our prior conversation. So this just gently loops back to whatever you're talking about. And it's a follow up, I feel, that lets you know that you see them as a person, not just like a sale, but it is business too. Like, and they have expressed interest. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is just another way because as we always say, it is going to be about the relationship. So that's why I do think it does take like 8 to 12 times. People are thinking, you don't even know that they're thinking, you don't even know that they're watching. Um, I actually shared in a chat today someone that I talked to in February. I had a phone call with her, a literal, actual, real life phone call. And for those that know me, know that is not something I would do. But she asked, and I went over everything about the pharmacy opportunity. And then, if you guys know, and the biggest part is obviously 50% off. And then you guys know too, we've had opportunity calls. I post about it all the time. And then I did my normal follow up game since February, a few times in March, a few times in April. She sends me a message today and she's like, hey, so do you really get 50% off when you shop? And I'm just like, girl. And that just immediately told me that people are always looking for the catch. People aren't seeing what you're posting or they're not paying attention, and how important it is to just stay on top of people's mind. I'm telling you, because if you've reached out once, that's just the beginning. Like, so when you're like, have I reached out 3 times? Have I followed up 5 times? Where am I? Where am I in that process before the close kind of thing? So, obviously, just to recap a little bit on the five, value based. So, you're going to share a tip, a tutorial, or an insight, whatever it is, and that can be product or business wise. Curiosity, we said, making them ask questions. Testimonial would be sharing real stories, real results, again, product, business wise. Promo reminder, anything with a sense of urgency, new information. Brooke was great when she just said to, like, we get them all the time. And you may not want to fill your feed with that. You don't want your, whatever, but it's a great excuse to get into the private messages, text, phone calls, whatever. And then a personal connection, because relationship is always, going to be stronger than the sale. So, and then here's the thing, you just start rotating these in your conversation so it feels fresh and authentic. Like, you're not just going to, keep sending, testimonial. You just rotate them all in different ways. So it's like a natural flow of conversation, I feel. And so I think a big thing too is not to leave money on the table. And so knowing what to say is super important. But if you're not tracking in some way who you say it to, you're going to be leaving money and impact on the table. And I can say that I'm the first that I know I need to find a better way, but I'm just super old school. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there and I'm working on different ways, and I've had different ways over the years. So use what works for your brain, but use something. I've seen people use Google Sheets, Trello, sticky notes. This is me. I write it down. And then I actually just started, and I'm going to try to keep up on it. So I'm not the best, but so you name and then what product they're interested in. And the product can also be the business opportunity. So you could put like wellness or business opportunity. And then the last type that you followed up with, was it curiosity? Was it testimonial? And then the date. And then you just kind of keep going until they're in. You know what I mean? So it's not like, just make sure you're doing something. And I'm telling you, I can promise you guys that you haven't followed up with everyone that has expressed interest. There is someone out there, because I know I have, and I think I'm okay at it. And then yeah, I'm just telling you, I promise you there's someone that you guys are thinking you got to follow up with right now. So I also, of course, we know we're going to do some type of challenge. And so we're going to turn all this follow up into momentum, because this is May. We're going to be following up the whole month long and then for the rest of our lives. So I do really want you to think of 3 people, at least 3. 3 is the minimum that you chatted with. I want you to pick 3 different styles that we covered. And then when you do it, I want you to put it in the big team chat and the team page, and just let them know. And this might get someone that wasn't on. We'll make sure the replay gets up and we can spread this, because it is like, honestly, there isn't any like secret sauce, you guys, that gets someone more successful than the other ones. It's really just who's doing the basics on a regular basis better, doing the basics better. That's it. That's literally it. There's not like, oh my gosh, she has this. It's like, no, who is following up? Who's tracking them? Who's doing that over and over again? And it's kind of like rinse, wash, repeat kind of thing, you know? I'm going to look at the chat because I want to make sure I'm not missing any.
Like,
What?
look at this.
Oh, good. I was like, yes. Amanda, dropping the ball. You need a better, okay. So the big page is the dream team, the real deal dream team. So you had no clue who you've talked to. So then you're just going to start fresh, girl, and think of who, at whatever way that you, was it on Facebook chat? Type in a couple keywords that you may have used. Okay, just make sure your upline adds you to it, and you can ask. And but go to your like. Actually, here I'm going to show you guys. I should be able to. So a lot of you guys are probably using Facebook Messenger. So right here, let's see if the very top, it's like ask Meta AI search. You can type in a word that you know, it, like say coffee, you know, or um, I'm trying to even think opportunity, something that you would have used when you were talking to someone about whatever. And then every single message that you have used with that conversation will come up. Type in pharmacy, because I'm sure you probably said pharmacy, anyone that you've talked to, and then write the names down, and that will be your starting point. So, say you joined in February, there might be a huge list of people that you've talked to about it that you haven't circled back to, and you should have definitely. It's May. Even if they ghosted you, even if they said no, you have a reason to follow up with them for sure. 100%. So I want you guys just to always keep in mind that follow up is not love. It's an act of love. It's not pressure. So that's what I was saying. It's not pressure. It's an act of love. You're reminding people that there's something amazing here. Posture and confidence is a big part of it. It is like you are giving people a gift. You're so excited. You believe in the products, you believe in the opportunity, and you're helping them. You're giving them solutions. So that's not pressure. Like you believe it will help them. Whether it's the product, the income, the community, I'm telling you, your message might be the nudge that they were waiting on. They might have thought you forgot. A lot of times people will be like, oh, well, if they would reach out to me if they're interested. People don't. They do not at all. I'm telling you. So we really need to normalize following up with ways that feel aligned, personal, and powerful. And we have like all the tools here. So I'm really excited. Anything you want to add into that, Brooke?
So the search function in the chat is really helpful. Like, you can type in like aloe, right? Like you've had some conversations with people with aloe, so you know, like, okay, it's back in stock. Type in aloe, and all those conversations will come up. So even if it's someone that's an influencer on your team, you can let them know. I would like in my last business, I would because I was in for 8 years, right? So I would sometimes go through and it would pull up DMs from like 3 years ago, you know. And I would like do keywords like hair because I was in a hair business. So like if you talk to someone about lipstick or makeup or something specific that you know, like a keyword that you would be using whenever you talk about pharmacy, for me, it's going to be like the aloe, the recharge, the coffee, that sort of thing. You can use those keywords. How do we find the list for customers? I am not sure in the tech arena, Tina. That
I have
rhymed.
no idea either. I would have to do what you would probably have to do is play around if anyone knows the answer. If not, I would say maybe call or send a message to customer service if they haven't bought. You're saying you want to find a list for customers. Can anyone
It's in
Oh,
the
management, under management selection. You're right. Yeah, so under office, you're right. I have seen it playing around. Under management, it's going to be a contact list, right? Is that what you're saying, Sydney? And
I
then also
have
like your
the link
orders.
here.
Yep. Can anyone share the link for the big team, the Real Deal Dream Team page? Someone says they're not in there, or even the boards or the link tree, just something in the chat so they can join our Facebook group. If not, you
Yeah,
can
I got it.
Oh, awesome. I was going to say, if not, you can just send me a message on Facebook and I'll make sure that you get in. So this is the name that I'm on under Facebook. So now I always check my filtered messages. So, but you guys,
It's so good.
at least once a day. I do, man. I get it. Like you get surprised who's in there. Of course, there's spammy people and creepy people, but the pros always outweigh the cons.
I think one more just like important thing that I would add as far as follow up is to remember that yes, following up in the DMs or texts or however you are communicating with someone is so important, but posting on social media consistently is also following up with people because you're staying in their face. You know, like people have started to talk to me about the coffee, like they like are starting to know me for the coffee because I'm like real consistent with sharing the coffee. So the more consistent that you can be with posting stuff and sharing stuff in the feed, giving people like new things to think about, and also like consistency with like your hook products and stuff. That's also a follow-up. So you have to remember like every post is a follow-up and you never know where someone's going to be when they're going to receive the message differently. Or like Brittany said, they're watching, you don't know that they're watching. But and a lot of times, honestly, people will watch you for a while to see if you're going to quit.
That is 100% true. I try to tell people that, especially if they're in the new, like your audience is trying to see what you're learning and seeing if you're committed. People want to support someone that's committed. And also, you're right. So we say people purchase on an average between 8 to 12 touch points. You posting and them seeing it is considered a touch point. And I did have someone that I didn't reach out with her yesterday about the product, but we had been talking, but then I had posted on my wall about L-carnitine being back in stock. That is what we've been talking about. And she purchased on her own. That was like, and I looked and I did count and I was like, this is about the 8th time we have talked about this. I didn't talk about it, but she saw my post. You know what I mean? And 100, and that is so true. Like I'm telling you, people want to, it's just, especially if it's about joining, they are going to want to link arms with someone that they see as committed in the business. And that's why I say how you're showing up, like in your stories, like people, and are you, whatever, are you excited? Are you recognizing, things and whatever? That's the people are attracted to that. So it's just really about that. And that is another way of following up 100%. I want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions here. Oh, one more, Jennifer. So, birthday messages. How do you circle back around a pharmacy if it's a new person? So, I told you I'm just literally like, "Hey, happy birthday. I hope it's a great day. What was your favorite memory?" And then usually that has them share something. And it really depends on the person. If it's a flow of conversation, if whatever they say, it could be something like, oh yeah, if they usually start to ask about me, how I'm doing. Oh, big changes. It just really it's a natural conversation. But typically, especially if it's a new person I'm talking to, I can bring it like, oh my gosh, yeah, I actually just changed my job 4 months. Whatever that looks like. But it just depends on the person. There's no really cookie cutter. Yeah, when someone places an order, my app dings, I get an email, and it's under orders in my back office, Tina. So those are the ways that I know. Like I'll wake up in the morning and it will be like so and so registered as a customer and I got an order. And if my app is on, it makes like a bing too. So but it definitely also shows up in your orders. And then
So much of what you're saying, Brittany, boils down to your confidence, your belief, and your posture because you're not going to say the wrong thing if you feel like good about what you have to offer and you feel confident about what you have to offer. I always constantly have to remind everyone this. You don't have to know everything. I don't know everything. The questions Tina's asking, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know, like the tech stuff, like I have no idea. But you have to remember to just be confident in posture. But if I let my inability, like I don't know all the tech stuff, right? So like I could let that stop me from building my business because I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I don't know, where to find this in the back office or where to find that. Like you're gonna ask Brittany. Sometimes I'll ask her things because I'm like, she probably knows. Like she's like an information whore. Like she has
I
all the
am, and I don't
information.
like I'm a
Like you
hub.
have everything. But just, when you're doing your follow-ups and you're checking in with people and all of the stuff that Brittany put together, such a great training. just remember that it just boils down to like how you're carrying yourself, how you're speaking about the company, how you're speaking about the products, and staying postured, not feeling like you're in a desperate energy, right? Like you're just like, hey, I'm just checking in. I'm just letting you know. I'm just circling back here, all of the things that she went through, all the different ways, which I love how you categorize that because that was actually super helpful for me as well.
Well, honestly, setting these up helped me too. So I want to try to come. That's literally it too. Like I'm like, okay, because I know like how we do it, but how to like reverse engineer it to help other people and then also help me too. And so, Jenny, when you're talking about confidence, I do want to do one of these weeks. I know we hear about mindset all the time, but it is a mindset one. And like Brooke said, it is about confidence. I never feel like I'm bothering someone, and I will follow up over and over again because I'm just so sure. Also, P.S. Tina, you did not get an order. I just went under your account, it's probably not that she's lying. I would just be like, hey, you're not in my back office, and this is a way to follow up. I'm not seeing it there. I would make sure you were charged. Something went wrong somewhere, but I didn't get the order. So, and that happens. I had some people tell me that they placed an order and it literally like it just didn't go through. And then you'll get the order, but having it, not talking to her about it and figuring out that's not going to help either of you because you want her to get the products too. But it's all about mindset and posture, and you're not bothering them, you're helping them, you are helping people, and that is always going to be king here. So, and that's going to encourage you, like you're going to wake up and be like, I want to help people today, I'm going to go through and help people get more energy, lose weight, make money. That gets me excited. I'm going to go through and tell people about Farmacy and the products, and that is how you should be looking at it every single day, honestly. And then you'll talk to more people, and it's like, oh, I reached out to her a month ago. A month is a long freaking time. I don't remember everything from April right now.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, honestly. Shoot, I haven't even got my plane tickets to Mexico in 2 weeks, you guys. I have to have people reminding me every day, and I do. Brittany, get those plane tickets. I'm like, oh my gosh, I will, I promise. I'll start looking, and then something will happen, or like, it's just literally and I'm not the only one like that. So I'm gonna assume other people are like that and need the reminder. They started to place the order, they started to look into it, they started to want, and so I'm just gotta help them along. Just like I also need help along, and that's just it. 100%. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited, you guys. Take the challenge. Once this recording's up, we'll share it everywhere so you can make sure your team sees it. And we will see you next week with some more follow-up training. Bye, guys.
And next week, I'm going to do a social media boot camp too. So
Oh,
we're
yay.
dive
Perfect.
into everything we did in Miami, but I'm going to expand upon that. I'm going to do that during the daytime though. So we'll still be having our follow up call. But one last thing in closing is like the confidence. You guys talked about like lacking the confidence. The more you do it and the more you take the action and the more you practice, the more confident you'll get. That's where the confidence comes from. The confidence doesn't come from like the standing in one place and being fearful and worried. It's like riding a bike, right? The more you ride it, the stronger you get, and then you don't fall anymore. And then, oh, now I don't need the training wheels. You know what I mean? Because now I feel confident in riding a bike.
Second nature. You're like, oh, this is it. I'm more confident now. Exactly. So, all right. Excited about the social media stuff too. See you guys around on the Book of Faces. Bye.